if you're watching this, you might be very new to the game. Um, I don't want, if this is the first video you've ever seen me do, think that I'm a complainer. I don't like to complain. I don't like complaining about games that are for fun and for entertainment. And you should not get actually very violently upset over a mobile game. Any game. Any game. I don't care if it's a game you're playing, a game you're watching, whatever. Shouldn't be that serious. Shouldn't be that deep. That being said, you're about to hear me rant a little bit. Just know that half of me is being funny. 40% of me is being funny. 20% of me is being funny. Let's get to the video.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die.
Hi guys, I'm Gravy here, and this is a DC Worlds Collide video. In this video, there is a blog. They release like news and updates. I don't know how often they do this. It seems like from what I saw, it was once a month. It may switch to once a week if I'm making this assumption because the game is going to be like globally released in 4 days from the date of this recording. So maybe they'll make them more often. As often as they make them, I'll go through the blog kind of as like a news update thing. I will try not to make them too long, but every time I say that, they end up very long. Also, these videos will take precedent over other videos that I'm going to release. So what you'll see is that there might be a time jump. If you're watching it consecutively, there might be a time jump. So right now, this video is going to get released today, if not tomorrow morning. And then there's going to be a string of another 20 videos that I've already recorded. 20, 30 videos I've already recorded that'll come off the back of it. And then anything else like the beginner's guide. The beginner's guide is going to come out July 6th, July 7th. So that's going to jump the line, just so you know, just kind of giving you a programming note. So this blog came out. I did not expect it. And to be honest, I wasn't looking for it. It wasn't like anything that I was like kind of keeping my eyes out for. I'm putting up this Superman DCU because they've introduced another Superman. And as much as people would like to complain about it, I will say this. There's a damn movie, guys. Of course, they were going to put another Superman and this busted ass. Like, I did not want to say that. This busted looking Guy Gardner. 20% funny. Yeah. This busted Guy Gardner and all this other stuff that they've added to the game. Yeah, they're gonna. And then if this had come out when the Blue Beetle movie came out, which the Blue Beetle movie was good, y'all. I like that movie. Then there would have been a second Blue Beetle or a Blue Beetle skin, and they probably would have put his grandma in there. She was cool. She was funny as hell. But like, it's gonna happen. I'm not exactly thrilled that they put him in. Is he a legendary or an epic? Because here's the other thing: if they put him as an epic before, or they put him as a legendary to where Superman has 2 legendary characters and Batman is only an epic, I'm gonna be livid. You bet out of the Holy Trinity, which is Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, this Superman better be an epic. If you give another Wonder Woman before you do another Batman, she better be an epic, and the next Batman better be a legendary. All's I'm saying. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into this blog. I have, like I said, I've read some of it. I've also been on the Discord and heard a lot of the chatter of not being happy with what's going on. Because they're nerfing a lot of characters. Now, this isn't going to be something that a lot of people are going to really notice if you're just jumping into the game and it's part of the global release and you're not going to see it or you're not going to notice this difference. But for those players who've been in it for a while, it does affect them greatly. For me, I'm thankful that I only started about a month ago, something like that. Because I'm upset, but I'm not because I haven't really been that deep into the game and I haven't put a bunch of resources into it. But one of the major changes went to Lex, which funny enough, Lex is a character that they ask you to fuse. So to nerf him before the global release is kind of why would you do that? But anyway, let's get to the blog. Get to the DC Worlds Collide patch notes 10.2. New feature. They're gonna have new features. So the new League Mother Box, earn a new cryptid token from League Challenge. Rewards for a chance to at the recently released Elite and Legendary characters. Okay, so the new ones. So then wait. Does that mean that Superman was elite? No, he must be legendary. This new League encrypted token is also a great way to top off your rare and elite fragments needed to rank up your characters. You have League challenges will be revamped, total revamped. We're going to skip all of this. Strategy recommendations specific to every fight. Boss escalations and kit changes lean into counterplay. Added difficulties 5 and 6. Rewards overhaul, including League encrypted tokens for the new League mother box. They have done combat rebalances, which is a way of saying nerfing folks. Critical hits can now be blocked. This I am okay with. I don't see it. I mean, I see it being a major change. Don't get it twisted. But I don't see it as a big deal. And it being blocked actually does benefit your Nightwings, your Ocean Masters, anytime you put somebody in a block set. So I will say this. I had just taken my Grodd out of a block set because it did not seem to be working that well. If part of that was because he could not block critical hits, I can put him back in a block set now. Allies and enemies have been added to 16 characters. Adjustments to 11 characters, including Blue Beetle, Lex, Vixen. Vixen seems to be a buff. Just heads up. Zatanna's skills have been renamed to match how she casts spells. They say that, but they also changed how her lifesteal works. And since Zatanna was one of I got to redo her damn guide now. That's just a personal thing. 99.9% of you don't give a damn about that. But also, it made her lifesteal mechanic worse. And I'm not sure about how I feel about what they did to her buffs. But we'll get into that. I'm going to be more on like the Zatanna's because I had her longer than the Lex's, which I do have Lex. And the main problem I have with Lex is facing him in PvE content. They added Mara to epic, legendary, and weekly recruitment banners. So that's where you can pull her. You couldn't pull her before, apparently. Desired character selector and the epic selection box. Added Pandora to the epic, legendary, and this is upsetting, but that's because it is what it is. They made a push for her like last week. I burned a ton of gems trying to get her so I could have her. And then they put her in the thing. They put her there to be desired character selector and all that jazz. So I wasted 12,000 diamonds is what they call them. I wasted 12,000 diamonds on trying to pull her. There is a list of bug fixes that we are going to just go ahead and skip over. And then we're going to go back to, and I'll pause the video right here because I'm going to go back to or do I have to pause it? I want to get to the changes they made to the kits and the battle effects. And let me scroll down real quick. June 30th. It took me to that last time. Brother Eye recalibration. Yeah, okay. So this is where it is. I'll go back for a second and go to the League Challenge update preview. Now, we're going to skip that. Battlefield. In today's preview, we're outlining further changes to League Challenge. And I apologize, guys. The reason why I'm kind of skipping over this stuff is that there is a lot. And the banter in the front, we're just going to try to skip past. I'm even going to try to not rant so much. In today's preview, we're outlining further changes to the League Challenge to improve the per sector experience, introducing some new boss systems and rolling out new rewards along with it. That's not a bad idea at all. Battle effects. While the UI updates to League Challenge have been an improvement, we feel that the character requirement tags focus too much on the character's faction or city of origin and didn't encourage enough League coordination. Okay. In the upcoming patch, we're changing each sector's required tags to focus more on the range of specific teams. Characters matching this sector-specific tag will gain stacking increase to health, attack, defense, depending on how many characters match the selected tag. All right. We also want to lean into the team synergy to further embolden tags. We feel this will allow leagues to better coordinate on the individuals with the strongest teams to beat each sector. So stacking tag bonus for each character with the corresponding tag. All allies gain plus 25% attack, defense, and health. Okay, and the tags I'm assuming are. We can go back to the game real quick, just because I'm learning this as well. So the tags would be. We'll stick with Batman. these things. So single burst, target, debuffs. I doubt they're going to have fear as one of them, but maybe they would. Maybe they'll do that. I mean, I guess that's a fun way to open things up. And then armor break. So those kind of tags that you have on the characters that are outlined in their character guide, like very clearly for you to be able to see. All right, let's get back to the blog. And then you have the team synergy. So the attack, defense, and HP. So this part, they put an X here. I'm guessing they haven't decided that yet. This part here kind of is very similar to what Evil Falls is, where if you're using a team synergy, you get an added benefit for using that team synergy. Parademon Sector. The Parademon Sector encounters features a group of respawning enemies that apply burn effects. Here's a look at the battlefield effect tag bonuses featured in this area, along with some light suggestions on teams for each sector. Okay, so area of effect. Since the fight focuses on a group, bring AoE to a fight is always a good idea, but bringing someone with this spell can strip away the buffs parademons spawn with. Green Arrow holds the AoE, team synergy, which I use him there, and can kill chain with his ultimate. Constantine is a great for AoE and can supply dispel along with. Okay, burn. The burn status effect is great for groups, often explosively. Sure. Superboy holds the burn team synergy, while Starfire offers burn and can dispel team buffs. More on that in the next section. Dr. Phosphorus really likes that the parademons apply burn. Is Dr. Phosphorus? Well, I don't have Dr. Phosphorus, so. And then target back row. Robin holds the target back row team synergy, which at level 3 can even steal buffs. Poison Ivy is a strong addition, and Mirror Master can duplicate debuffs along with. Okay, so. And then the boss escalations. To lean into the counterplay and the balance against the new battle effect systems, we're implementing a new mechanic which plays into the infinitely spawning behavior of our League challenge bosses. I assume you guys have played a little bit of League, but like the first one, like they said, it's a group of parademons. I've always just taken every AoE damage dealer I have and then one healer and then just tried to wipe out as many as possible. So Wonder Woman, Starfire was one, Superboy was one, Superman is one that I would use, Green Arrow is one that I would use, Constantine, regrettably, yes. Zatanna kind of, but she only attacks a row. Let's see. We can just go ahead and have a quick look at this for those quick recommendations. Honestly, that might be it. Back row damage from Penguin. And that's kind of only ones I would take. Bane kind of does it, but that's more about stun. I would lean into, if I'm being honest, I would lean into Superboy, Starfire, and Superman. Get the burns out plus the AoE damage. I put Green Arrow on that team as well. So I do want the team synergy from Superboy so I can make those things go boom boom, the burn. But then at the same time, I want Green Arrows a bit because his AoE is just nuts. It's just a nuts AoE attack. All right, so then the boss escalations. You kill the boss, it literally just respawns every single bar of health back, and you just keep doing that until eventually that boss does destroy your team. But you get pretty high scores off that. As the boss revive, the skills level up and become more threatening. At higher revives, an optimized team selected to take advantage of the battlefield effects and exploit the boss's weaknesses become more and more important. Here's a couple of examples, again, for parademons. So then why are you? Okay. Parademons are getting a nerf to how the stats increase with each revive, but we are sending them back in with increasing stacks of attack or armor buffs. Here's the twist. Those buffs are fragile, and if you dispel one, you dispel the entire stack. Okay. Cool, I like that. All right, I like that a lot. So a team with the ability to dispel buffs is, if you'll pardon the pun, pretty hot. You've had plenty of puns in here. You're pardoning that one. Speaking of hot, while parademons can dish out a lot of burn, they don't handle it so well themselves. Maybe Darkseid isn't too concerned with the quality of his shock troops, flamethrowers, but the parademons use their basic skills they have, dealing themselves damage for each stack of burn on them. Dealing themselves damage. Okay, cool. I guess, yeah, cool. I mean, whatever helps, bro. That's kind of weird to me. Albeit, we got plenty of that stuff in the game. Be sure to pop open the strategy details for each boss and then tap. Yeah, that's something that you need to look at every time. Click that purple arrow and use that. New difficulties, that's pretty clear. New rewards. In addition to changes to the encounters, we also did a pass to increase the overall League Challenge rewards. Yay. Expect to see new rewards tied to personal repel and leaderboard payouts. We're also adding more reward chests throughout the challenges. But wait, there's more. Introducing new League encrypted tokens. For use in a new Mother Box banner. This new banner is intended to help help players earn more rare elite fragments to aid in ranking up their characters. And I said this before, the bottleneck for, well, right now I need some elite, but to be real, the bottleneck for realness is rare when you're trying to rank up. I don't know why. And guys, if you have anything, put in the comment section or whatever. Is that just my experience? Because today, I kid you not, I pulled I think it was 2,000, and I ended up with like 5 elite and 1 rare. Like, I see what the percentages say. I know, and maybe it's just me doing this math wrong, but it was insane. I loved it. It was insane. I needed those elites up. When it opens on June 1st, additionally, the new build when it opens on June 1st, you'll find the following legendary and epic characters in the pool alongside all currently available elite characters. So you can only get all the elite characters and then just Dr. Fate, Sinestro. Oh, Sinestro. We want Sinestro. We do want Sinestro. And the Bride. Epic, you have Raven Pandora, Green Lantern John, Stewart, Mera, Dr. Phosphorus, and Weasel. I don't want any of those because I do want Mera. Okay. So those are the changes to the league. And now let's get into the debuffs and the buffs and whatever they're trying to say it is, but it's not. The rebalancing. And honestly, they just give this whole like intentions of the game thing, which cool. I'm not about to read through all that mess right now. You guys can read it if you want to. And I don't mean to call it mess in like such a degrading way, but it is a lot of stuff for me to like just read. Okay, so so they're changing critical hits. Previously, when a character would land a critical hit, it would override any block chance for happening. This meant that a critical hit focused team would often dominate a block focused team. Yeah. Our intent was for block focused teams to do well against crit focused teams, or just, it doesn't have to be well, just leave the block chance up. And so we have made the following changes. Critical hits cannot be blocked. Character allies and enemies. We've added many more missing allies and enemies to many characters. Each affinity member is always chosen because they have some lore can we not use sans serif and just use serif connection to the character. Do you know why each ally and enemy were chosen? I try to figure it out every time, but sometimes y'all just have the most random stuff. And you've seen me ask on the videos, just send me the comic where this happened. Just send me the comic. I want to know. Characters with new allies and enemies: Sinestro, Deathstroke, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Supergirl, Superboy, Grodd, Ocean Master, Green Lantern Jessica, Green Lantern John, Dr. Phosphorus, Black Canary, Black Manta, Scarecrow, Captain Cold, Phantom Stranger, The Question. All right, so character changes, and this is where we get into it. Okay, so, and they give you the intent. Okay, you know what? To be fair, I should read the intent and whether or not that goes. The cynic in me is like, I don't give a damn about your intention. These are the results of your actions. That's a bit too black and white, and that's a little bit too like lawyer judgy. So let's hear him out. Blue Beetle was always intended to help counter critical hit teams. The game-wide change that allows critical attacks to be blocked will majorly help, but will really wanted to secure his place as the anti-crit hero. Okay. To that, I will say this: that is a very specific trait for a legendary to have. Like for an epic to have or an elite to have, where it's like they combat crits. I see that. But for that to be the entire goal of a legendary character seems a bit much to me. Anyway, we're changing his legendary passive tactical sharpness to apply not only to himself, but to all back row allies. That's cool. I like that a lot. So legendary. During battle, every 1% of block Blue Beetle grants 0.5% crit damage reduction to all back row allies and themselves, up to 30%. Now here's the thing. So it's going to be a crit damage reduction of 30%. Theoretically, that's the max. And it says to back row allies and himself. So that means you want to put him in the front, right? Is Blue Beetle a tank? That's something we can just look at really quickly, because I'm not exactly sure. Blue Beetle is a tank. He is a mighty tank, which, I mean, sure. I'm not about to read through his kid and all this stuff right now. However, I will say this, that does not put him above Superman for me. Lex, this is the one that had a lot of people heated in the Discord. Okay, Lex Luthor is the go-to S.H.I.E.L.D. character who holds the S.H.I.E.L.D. team synergy. His ultimate puts up nearly insurmountable wall of defense for your whole team. He's also a great legendary to chase after, as there is a guaranteed way to craft him, but which does require resources and effort. So when you change him, it better be something that's, okay with the community, because people take their time to do that. However, his win rates were sky high, even against intended counters like Bleed. And I will say this, I have been trying to build Bleed teams to deal with Lex from a PvE perspective, and they do bring up a valid point. Like, it does not work. It does not work. We tested a few changes, like simply lowering the shield amount or making his ultimate cost more ultimate points, but these did not give us the satisfying results. Does not give us satisfying results. At the end of the day, we still want Lex to be strong. So our goal, they even here's the thing. With Blue Beetle, they're like, nah, we just gonna make him better. Okay, cool, bam. With Lex, they knew people are gonna be so livid that they were like, no, wait, let me explain. No, let me explain. No, let me talk. I got all these bullet points, okay? Let me talk though. And they are breaking it down. When you over-explain, you're in trouble. When you over-explain, when you got that bad grade and had to go home to your mom, you were thinking like, what can I say? I've done that before. Where I was like, something bad at school happened, and I was like, I gotta say something. I can't just walk in here like a regular ass 8-year-old and think it's all gonna be okay. What can I say though? I've had those moments. Jeez, love you, mama. Rest in peace. Keep Lex strong. Make him less of a no-brainer addition to any team. Make him even stronger in certain team comps, like pairing with Jessica Cruz. I did just rank up Jessica Cruz because I'm just wanting her to be good, and the jury's still out. The below change will make it cheaper to use the ultimate right off the bat, and even increases the shield amount of higher ranks. However, he now has a longer cooldown, and each activation of his ultimate increases the cost of future activations by 1. With these changes, it's important to plan out Lex's ultimates so you can maximize his effectiveness in battle. So the cost is 2, cooldown is 3 for his ultimate. And then level 1 activates the defensive force field that grants all allies a shield that can absorb damage equal to 16% of max health for 2 rounds. Increases the cost of future use by 1 ultimate point. Okay. So the cost was 2, now it's 3. Then it goes up to 4, I think. Shield damage absorption increased to 19 instead of 18. Shield damage absorption increased to 22 instead of 20. Up from 20. When did it go to 20? It went to 19, bro. Okay, so basically it is, you use it the first time, you're going to get it's going to cost 2, then it's going to cost 3, then it's going to cost 4, then it's going to cost 5. This, I think is actually, I don't think it's that bad. I feel like a lot of people are going to disagree with me. It is a nerf. It does kind of suck. I'm not heartbroken over it, and part of it may be that I'm relatively new to the game. Those people who are already at the end game and who've already put a lot of intellect or rely on him on certain teams and I can understand where their frustration and anger comes from, because I'm about to have that same frustration and anger with Zatanna, and that's because I'm more experienced with Zatanna. I got Lex like a week ago, and I've been doing fine without him. So having him now, it's great. He's been fun. I like him, but I haven't had a chance to integrate him into all of my teams and all these different things yet, whereas other players who've been around longer, who are further along than me, may have already. That being said, his ultimate cost is 2 to begin with. That goes up to 3. I think it started out at 3 last time and it just stayed at 3. That means he gets his first 2 shields up relatively quickly. Like within 5 turns. Well, not 5 turns, but within 5 ultimate points, right? After that, it becomes 4. When that happens, given all the other ultimates and everything else, that's pretty deep into the battle, right? And so it's kind of ensuring that you just can't like keep this permanent barrier up and block people from making any progress, which I can see where people are upset, but I don't think that's that big of a deal. And it might, like I said, it might be my lack of experience with Lex. I would love to hear back. I would love to hear George's opinion on it, because like I said, he's the oracle of DC Worlds Collide for me. And so his perspective on it, I would really, really appreciate, because I want to know like what a lot of people are upset, and I can understand being like, man, this sucks, but not like anger. You know what I'm saying? Like just, because what I'm about to say about Kid Flash, this kind of sucks. For Zatanna, this kind of sucks. But I'm a rock with it. It's still okay, right? So anyway, hit me back. Am I absolutely wrong? Be respectful. Kid Flash's ultimate is the single target healing ultimate in. It's the only one in DC Worlds Collide. Okay, cool. I was waiting for somebody else. All right. His advanced ability, quick healing. But wait. It's okay, yeah. I mean, they know their game better than I do. Was stealing a little bit of that spotlight, so we've turned it down a bit. Kid Flash's ultimate is the single target healing ultimate in DC Worlds Collide. His advanced ability was stealing a little bit of the spotlight, so we tuned it. That's the dumbest thing. I didn't process this. So one of his abilities that was a healing ability made the other healing ability jealous? We weren't upset that the advanced ability was stealing some of the shine off the ultimate. I like that. And steal it. This does not make sense to me that it's stealing. This is the only ability that does that heal. And the other one was stealing from it. So we just decided to nerf the other one. Oh, and nerf the ultimate. You mean, man. Dog. That's just the wording of that's just stupid as hell to me. I'm sorry. And then what they do is heals the ally with the lowest proportion of health equal to 120% instead of 195. This was so damn nice to have, because then I could run him sometimes single as my support. In this, I don't understand how this is something that is improving him. So you want us to rely on his ultimate more? Why? What, like, this is the thing. I don't understand what this is. And the only explanation for this is that they're making this suck more because they have a character that's coming in that does heals on their advanced attack. And then you're supposed to put investments in them. That's the only thing that makes sense, because why this ability is stealing from this ability. I don't understand that logic. If I am dating someone and I'm cooking and cleaning for them, and they look at me and say, you know what? You're cleaning so well that it's a taking away from your cooking. So can you clean less? You name the woman that's going to tell me to clean less. Okay. Give her my number immediately. Okay. Oh, they didn't nerf the... I just saw this part. They didn't. Okay. They didn't nerf his ultimate. That's so annoying. I guess, but here's the thing though. And that's because I have a lot of experience with Kid Flash, right? And this is annoying. And again, I'm a rock with it. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's stupid. It's not the worst thing in the world. And that is probably how the people who have been playing with Lex, as long as longer as I've been playing with Kid Flash feel. So like, this is what I'm saying. I don't want to invalidate anybody's feelings about that stuff. It's just, it's not a big deal for me. Let me put it that way. This is a big deal for me. Supergirl, nothing that happens to her is going to be a big deal for me because I don't have her yet. So you can't miss what you haven't had, right? All right, Supergirl has a cool effect at higher ranks where her ultimate ability will become cheaper when an enemy is frozen. We think that functionality should appear a little earlier to help her synergize with other allies. Now, here's the thing. See what's funny? They went through a whole damn list to explain why they made these changes to Lex because they knew it was bad. Kid Flash, I don't know why they didn't give us more explanation. This is the dumbest explanation ever. With this one, they were like, no, we just made her better. Bop, bop, bop. And then they kept it pushing. So the changes deals physical damage equal to 250% of attack to one enemy, also hits all frozen enemies, and does an additional 100% damage to frozen enemies. When an enemy is frozen, the cost of the ultimate ability is reduced by 1. And I guess this was higher up here, but they just do it at the very beginning. No change to her L2 and to her L3. All right. I'm still upset about Kid Flash. Okay. And if that's 75%. No, I'm not letting it off the hook. All right. The core design around Vixen, who sucks in every game. Why can't we make a decent Vixen? Although I'm not caping for Vixen that hard. I'll be honest with you. I'm caping for Jon Stewart. All right. So the core design around Vixen was simple. She is a tank with higher than average attack. She is powerful when her allies are alive, and even more so when enemies have bleed on them. However, she wasn't quite living up to her potential. She'd sucked. So we've changed her passive ability to no longer give you small bonuses for each standing ally. Instead, give one massive bonus for having a full team. Her emblem is also much more powerful at the start and more greatly rewards having a full standing team. So basically, it is not that... Okay, so isn't this also a nerf? Because instead of it being like you get 10% per ally, you get 50% for having the whole team. But then once one falls, you lose that 50%. So it's not that she falls off gradually as characters go down. She just drops off a cliff when the first one falls. Am I missing that? That's right, right? Sup, Napo? How you doing? That's right? Like she's just gonna fall off a damn cliff, basically. Instead of giving her give one massive boost for having a full team. So instead of the small bonuses for each ally. Okay, so this one, Vixen has 40% increased attack up from 5%, and 20% increased attack up from 3% when all allies are standing. So then this falls off when one ally dies. So then she can't be in long battles where people are falling. She just falls off. Vixen has 50% increased crit resistance when all allies are standing. Vixen maintains pack hunter bonuses as long as 3 allies are standing. That's when you get her to the next. Okay, so... But that means that one falls off. So I got to take her up to what, rank 10 so that she can be okay with only 4... Get the hell out of it. So she still sucks. Well, you made her worse. She wasn't even good and you made her worse. Vixen gains 10% attack up to 5% and 15% defense per enemy with bleed. Okay. So she gets more defense and more... Okay, fine. New, the first time an enemy is defeated, Vixen gains a new turn. Okay. And then there's no change at the start of her turn. Vixen has 25% of attack and all that. So you've made her just even less interesting, basically. That's all you did. Because the second one, like, and here's the thing, it kind of sounds stupid. In a situation where I know she's going to dominate, sure. If I'm so sure that nobody else on my team is going to die. But if I'm going into a battle where it's equal, I'm not going to put her in arena. If I'm going into a battle where it's equal, I lose. Because the second one of my characters falls, her attack drops and she's useless at that point. Not useless, but she's not doing what she would have done. So why would I bring her? There's no point. I'm only bringing her to matches I know I can dominate. Okay. And I don't even have Vixen, and I still don't want her now. I mean, damn that. Remember that cool conditional ultimate cost ability that Supergirl has? Well, we thought Star Sapphire could use it as well. See, that's nice. Now when her collected heal amount is 100% or higher, so that means that they're letting it go over 100%. I think the max was 100%. Her ultimate will be a 1 point cheaper. Also, to help get her to 100%, we've made her basic no longer consume the collected heal amount. That's cool. Her basic used to use that, so that meant that it would just keep going up and down, but just off of the basic. With this, I'm guessing they're saying it only dispels with the ultimate. So the changes were deal superpower damage 360%. This is the ultimate of attack to an enemy target. Additionally, consumes 40% of the collected heal amount to convert into additional attack power for the current skill. When the collected heal is at 100% or higher, so they're letting you go higher, decrease the cost of the ultimate by 1. And then damage increases to 410, and the collected heal amount to be consumed increases to 50%. So consumes 40% of the heal amount. Now she'll, okay, 50%. Okay, cool, makes sense. And then now the changes here. Attacks an enemy dealing superpower damage equal to 140%, which is up from 120. Damage increases to 150, up from 130. Damage increases to 160 if you have more than 50% collected heal. So if you have it, but it does not use it. Okay, cool. Cool. This makes me want to use Star Sapphire a little bit more. I'm gonna write this down. Everybody, this is the oldest of all the thing that changed and all the quote unquote balancing and improvement you've made. So far, I'm only interested in using one character. Everybody else, I'm already using Kid Flash and just have to get over it. Vixen, no thank you. Supergirl, yeah, sure. Okay, Supergirl, let me cut the drama. The hell. I mean, like I said, it's not a big deal, but it doesn't make me like her more. We can say it that way. It doesn't make me like her more. Blue Beetle. There's a flaw in Blue Beetle just to begin with. Okay, so Zatanna, and then Two-Face, and then Constantine, and then Dr. Phosphorus, and then Weasel. It's a lot of stuff, guys. Told you it was gonna be a minute. All right, Zatanna. See how they get all that explanation? You know why? They made her suck. We believe Zatanna is too narrow in her design. She's really good at heavily buffing one or two allies with crit rate, frantic, and granting them lifesteal, but doesn't do much else for the team. We don't need her to do nothing else. It was fine. Additionally, she is one of the few characters who can dispel buffs from enemies with her ultimate. Our aim for these changes is threefold. You guys know you're about to say something sucks. And I can tell you what it is. That lifesteal percentage sucks now. It's a lot less. I'm not going to say it's a lot less. Like the lifesteal, the way they have the mechanic running for the lifesteal now, which I will read, has like half the amount of heals coming out, if not less than that. Our aim with the changes is threefold. Screw us, and screw us. No, I don't want to be that dude. Money. Spread out her support to the whole team instead of laser focusing on two allies. This is a fair thing, but this is what you've done after. Like, this is kind of like, we're going to remove this lifesteal thing because it's helping the teams too much. But we'll give you this, though. So, yeah, anyway. Lean her into even more of her dispel role. Now, I will say this, and I'm not remembering it clearly now. I will retract a lot of what I'm saying right now if the dispel is like on the basic and the advanced attacks. And if that's the case, then I can kind of be more okay with the lifesteal sucking now. Give her some self-sustain. Her lifesteal previously applied more to individuals who had stacks of frantic. Yeah. Now she will apply an even amount of lifesteal to the entire team based on how many stacks of frantic on all allies. Which, yeah. So she puts out frantic on everybody. And then the amount of lifesteal that happens is based off that frantic. But when the frantic goes away, the lifesteal reduces. So she doesn't grant frantic for until the end of battle, unless I read that wrong. In addition, she now applies much more frantic to the whole team at the loss of no longer applying strong attack. Now, that does bother me, the no longer strong attack. However, it's not the worst thing in the world because strong attack is only 8%. 8% does matter, but if you're giving me more frantic and more chances to crit, I can see where that balance comes in. Frantic is 10% increase crit chance. So I can see that balance. I can see where it's like, we're going to take away strong attack, but we'll give you frantic. That seems a bit like a nothing burger to me. But I guess if we crit more often, that's nicer. Deals superpower damage equal to 120% and dispels 1 stack of a single buff from an enemy. Level 2 dispels 2 stacks of a single buff from the target. Damn. This is kind of like being punched with a hand that has $100 in it. Like, you hit me, but you're giving me 100 though. I don't know how to feel about that. All right, let me keep reading. Let me process. Increases damage to 140, whatever. Grants all allies 1 stack of frantic, change from strong attack, for 2 turns. Also grants 2 bonus stacks of frantic to the ally with the highest attack for 2 turns. So that means you're going to get 1 stack. Everybody gets 1 stack. So everybody gets a 10% increased chance of critting. I would take the strong attack over the crit because I'm guaranteed the strong. This just increases my chance. So, like, you guys know me, I'll take the 8% over the increased 10% chance. But it is what it is. And then adding 2 stacks to the ally with the highest attack. Cool. However, at the same time, this kind of screws with AoE damage dealers because I just released a video, or at least recorded, I don't know if I released it yet, where I was saying that I'm going to put all of my AoE damage dealers in crit gear. Okay, fine. If I'm doing that and I run Batman with Green Lantern with Green Arrow, then that means that now the additional crit is going to go on to Batman, and I would rather have it go on Green Arrow. And actually, maybe I can, and maybe I'm wrong. I'm looking at this right now for real, because I want to know. So Batman has, and the thing is like they're kind of at the same level, but Green Arrow is higher. Batman's attack is 23,465. So his attack is higher. I do have better gear on him, but I do have this crit here. But he's level 180. He's an AoE damage dealer. 20. Oh, but I have better gear on him as well. Okay, I can't find a legitimate example right now because all of my AoE damage dealers at the moment, because I'm still developing my Batman, at the moment have a higher attack power than what my Batman has. Okay. 22,347. Okay, so this is an example of it but I don't have her in crit gear. I have her in speed gear for a very specific reason, which we won't go into. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at it a little bit more. The problem that I'm having is that I know that when everything gets balanced out, the single target damage dealer is gonna have a higher attack than the AoE damage dealers. Now I am building them in crit gear, to be fair, so their crit chance is already gonna be higher. However, I'm building them in crit gear because I want them to have the highest possible crit chance. So I would much rather have those 2 additional stacks go on to my AoE damage dealer, whose attack is going to be slightly lower than my single target. That's what the goal is. Like, that's how I've planned things. So then does that mean I need to just not? No. Because here's the thing. And now if I switch it over to attack, I will get the 10% bonus from the frantic. So I changed Green Lantern over to an attack set and only have 1 crit set on him. That reduces the crit chance I have by 10% from that set. And that is a 10% that's a 20% I would get from Zatanna because it's going to put 2 frantics on that Green Arrow, theoretically. However, only if I got Zatanna with me. So does that mean I got to change my gear every time I want to run green arrow without Zatanna so that I can give him the crit set so that way he can crit in that area because I am not running Zatanna with him now. I would rather have the strong attack. Okay. All allies gain 2 stacks of crits, or two stacks of frantic, for 2 turns on level 2. Okay. But then does this also grant the bonus here too? I'm guessing it does. The ally with the highest attack now gains 3 bonus stacks of frantic. And here's the thing. I'm arguing something that's very, very specific and very, very particular. It would be nice to have Batman as a single target damage dealer crit more often when he's hitting, which kind of then validates having him in mostly attack sets. Fair. However, if you're asking me where I want my crit to go, I want it to be on my AoE damage dealer. Okay. All right. Deep breath. Woosahs. Whenever an enemy buff is dispelled, Zatanna heals 3% of her max HP per type dispelled. This is her passive. So that means that she's going to heal herself based off of her basic by 3%. When Zatanna is present, here's the fun one. She grants all allies 2% lifesteal for each stack of frantic on the team. I can cheat this a little bit. Dispels buffs now heals Zatanna for 5% of her max. Okay, I can cheat this a little bit. The problem is that I need other characters that are gonna grant frantic. I can run them with Zatanna, hopefully get them to go parallel to where there's always gonna be at least a few stacks of frantic out there. Fine. If she's giving 1 stack of frantic to every character, that's 5 plus the additional 2 is 7. So then it's a 14% heal. So long as the frantics are out there, but when those frantics start to disappear because they're only 2 turns, or her advanced attack does come around every 2-3 turns, then that lifesteal ability goes away. So it'll be good in the beginning and then good like turn 3 or 4. If I have her level 2, all allies gain 2 stacks of frantic. So then that means whenever she's running that advanced attack, which makes me want to put her in, I think I have her in Speed Gear already. She puts out 2 on everybody. That's 10. That's 20% lifesteal. So the thing is that it is better in the sense of the percentage you're going to get based on the frantic that she puts out. However, it's only better. It's better like this instead of this steady, like this is what we're getting. So I can understand, I can see where it's like going to force you into building different types of teams, which is kind of cool. Experiment more. But it bothers me. I want her to stay the same. Okay. No, like when I think about it, it's like I can, in my head, I'm starting to theory craft already, like what I want to do with her, which I do like theory crafting in these types of games. I can't do it in other games because my brain just doesn't work that way. But like in these types of games, I can theory craft and I can take in like information and do it. So I'm trying to like think in my head of how this could work with who and I do appreciate that part of the game. However, I would rather have not had that lifesteal thing change. There were all the other changes, the frantic and the strong attack. That's cool. And I mean, I guess this is cool to some degree because then maybe I can build up something to where now this is going to be better than what it was before. Maybe. However, all this explanation makes me feel like I'm just trying to justify something so I don't completely crash out. Two-Face. Two-Face is great for defeating Owlman, but we want him to be a stronger support option outside of Evil Falls. See how they don't need to do a bullet-pointed thing? It was just straight up. These changes adds an offensive benefit while in the front row and a defensive benefit in the back row. Okay. So, without reading on that, while his good side is revealed, which is when he's in the front row allies gain 1 additional stack of bleed whenever they add bleed. Oh, apply. Gain. They apply an additional stack of bleed whenever they add bleed. So whenever they're adding a bleed, they will apply more bleed. They will apply 1 more stack of bleed. When his bad side is revealed, back row allies gain 15% life steal. What? They just gave him Zatanna's life steal. What? Wait, what? Wait, what? What? Okay. Okay. Um, I'm smiling because I just pulled a bunch of like Two-Face frags, and so I think I can actually rank him up. I was gonna do Batman first, and I'm gonna do Batman first, but then I think what? They just gave him Zatanna's life. I did not notice that. And to be fair, I only read the tunes that I really rock. I do like Two-Face. I just don't use him that much. What? Okay. I like that a lot. I just complained about this. And the more and more I look at this, the more and more I want to like just hop into my rosters now and figure out what I can do with it. So I'm not as upset as I was in the very beginning when I read it. I still don't like it, but I'm not as upset. This made me happy. I got to see how it performs, but that made me happy. When he gets out his review, and this is the other part of it too. I rarely use Two-Face in the front row. He's usually in the back because damage amplification for back row allies is 14%, and that just increases as it goes. So if I got 14% increased damage, which would be better than that Zatanna strong attack that you would put on with the Frantics, and I get 15% lifesteal, we can roll. I don't have a good like mighty heal option. Two-Face just became that. We can go with this. Okay. We can go with this. All right. Shh. Two-Face. Let me not curse on this microphone. Two-Face. What's up? What is up? What is up? Okay. I'm making all my little notes down here, all my ideas and stuff. What? Okay, let me stop writing. All right, Constantine is a key hero. We're going to use that word loose as hell for the sacrifice team. Sacrifice should be a mechanic where you lose out on HP so that you can gain some benefits. Yeah. However, I felt that he was healing you too much. George said he had heals. I still didn't want to use him. And the sacrifice part of his abilities was rarely felt. To address this, we've lowered the recuperate gained in level 1 of his basic kill to 1 stack for 2 turns, down from 2 stacks. In my head, I'm giving Constantine a middle finger. 2 of them. Double barrel birds. I'm not doing that on YouTube, but you know what I'm thinking. Cool. I'm not a Constantine fan. All right, so Weasel. Guy I don't know. Weasel bites his allies just a little too hard. He feels really bad about it. Was he one of the... What the... I never read his kit. What the... Okay. All right. So now he nibbles much softer, and when his team synergy is at level 2, he also applies recuperate to his ability to his ally nibble victims. But thanks to our Discord community for highlighting this concern. We took your feedback under advice. Oh, they let you know. It's like, no, but this one we listened to you though. Like, no. Other stuff, forget the other stuff. We were listening on this one now. We listened to you. Pat us on the back. I'm being a jerk. I know I'm being a jerk. I'm sorry, guys. Advance, just a nibble. Weasel gloms onto his front row ally with the highest percentage of health remaining and takes a little bite, dealing 5% of his attack and physical damage down from... He used to do 100%? Wait, what? Dealing 5% of his attack and physical damage. He used to do 100% damage on that? And healing Weasel for 20% of his max HP. This attack can not crit or defeat out. He was doing that is no wonder they were 100% is insane. If no former ally remains, Weasel instead targets the enemy with the lowest percentage of HP remaining, dealing 100% of damage instead. Wow. I don't want him on my team even a little bit. I'm not going to read the rest of his kit. Team synergy, just a nibble applies 2 stacks of recuperate for 3 turns to the nibbled ally. I don't want him. Get the hell away from my team. Dr. Phosphorus. Dr. Phosphorus needs to simmer down a little. Sure. Doc will now hurt his allies much less. Okay, so they're changing all the sacrifice mechanic stuff. Based on community feedback, Ultimate go nuclear. Deals 100% of attack as a superpower to all enemies. Also deals allies 5% of attack as a superpower damage. Down from 100%. What were you thinking when you made this thing? Why are they hitting us as hard as they're hitting the... Yeah. And honestly, even if you knocked it down to like 50 or 25% would have been another... Like, it would have been all right. 100% is insane, sir. Ma'am. That's insane. Okay. That's nuts. All right, so those are the blogs. I said it was gonna take a minute. This is all that. Wow, it took a minute. So I'm gonna try to get this video out as fast as possible. But I mean, in summation, I like the league changes a little bit. We'll see how that goes. Help us get more elites in a rare. That's cool. We appreciate it. The Blue Beetle thing, I mean, they improved on what was bad, but I don't think that makes me want him anymore. The Lex thing, in my view, is not a huge deal, but I think that really just comes from my inexperience with Lex. I can understand why others are upset because of how upset I am with Kid Flash. They didn't even give him an explanation. They just knocked it off. Like, this is stupid to me. The Supergirl thing is kind of cool. I don't have her, but that's kind of cool. They turned Vixen to worse. Like, they made her worse and she was already bad. So I don't want that epic. Star Sapphire, I'm going to try to use her more. I like what they did with her changes there. Zatanna, I was really upset at first, but after reading it now and actually trying to think through it and not just reading it on a train while I'm on the way to work, I feel not as upset with that one. I feel like I can or a goal of mine could be to build a frantic team or find a frantic like duo for her. So that way we can like exploit this mechanic. Two-Face is the best of the bunch so far. I can't wait to start using him again. Constantine, good. You know what I'm thinking. Weasel, I didn't want him before, but I damn sure don't want him now. Same with Dr. Phosphorus. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Please like, please subscribe. If you don't like it, subscribe and a dislike. I'm okay with that as well. And I'll see you guys next time.